It's happening. Oh, yes! God, yes! This is It Still Good? Welcome to the show. I'm Bear Kennedy. I'm coming to you from Chicago. And with me, of course, is...
Andrew Carter, coming to you from Los Angeles, California, in the Silver Lake area. Just keeping it as hip as possible. You know how we do.
It's good.
Nice balmy 70-plus degree day. It's very pleasant for the first day of May.
I appreciate a thorough weather report, so please keep it coming. And with that in mind, let's tell you about the show. This is It Still Good? This is the show that is based around that central question. We're just two grown-up film students who refuse to grow up, and we're looking back, we're taking our critical eye and applying it to all the things of our youth and trying to ask ourselves, is it still good? Or is it just part of the rosy glasses of childhood? So we've got a treat for you today. We've got something that I haven't really thought about in a while. Andrew, tell us what we're talking about.
So we are talking about hide and seek, as Bear said, and I agree. We have not thought about this in a very long time. We are talking about hide and seek. We are going to discuss and determine by the end of this episode if hide and seek is still good. Now, really quickly, some background in case we have any aliens listening who have never played hide and seek. Hide and seek is a popular children's game, as defined by Wikipedia, in which any number of players, ideally at least 3, conceal themselves in a set environment to be found by one or more seekers. The game is played by one player, chosen, designated as being it, closing their eyes and counting to a predetermined number, while the other players hide. After reaching this number, the player who is it calls, "Ready or not, here I come," or, my personal favorite, "Coming, ready or not," and then attempts and then attempts to locate all concealed players. It's 2 or more players. The setup time is about 90 seconds. There is no limit to playing time, so it can go on for hours, days. There are certain skills required, such as running, tracking, hiding, observation, and, the most important, arguably, the ability to stay silent.
That's good background. I have 2 thoughts. The first one is I feel like I didn't learn the alternate meaning of coming till like distressingly late in life. And I watch a lot of porn, but I always used to watch it without the sound on because I was afraid of getting caught as a youth.
Wait, what?
So I kind of missed the part where the guide goes like, "I'm gonna come." So like I feel like I was like easily like 19 or 20 before it really sunk in. Like, oh, there's another definition of this word that's much funnier.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah, no, that's not a joke. I still have an association where I will watch porn without the sound because that's how I grew up.
That is crazy.
So I get it now. I get coming ready or not is funny now as a 32-year-old man. But the other thought I had was that it is weird. It's weird to hear you tell the rules of hide and seek.
Yes.
Because in the research I did too, because this is a well-researched show, you're welcome in advance. I came across how hide and seek is it's part of an oral tradition. Which is another funny double meaning. But it basically means that these things are passed down from person to person without like a written record or anything. So I don't remember having like a sit down chat with my parents about, all right, son, like this is how you fucking play hide and seek. It was just something I always kind of knew about. Like I do not remember hearing about it.
Right.
You give that's covering a lot of ground by explaining the rules when basically the rules are right in the name of it. Like there is both hiding and seeking.
Yeah, it's like no shit. Yeah. It's like, but what's interesting though is that it is taken, reading those rules makes me take it more seriously, and on that note, there is an international hide and seek competition. So there's a world championship officially named the Nascondino World Championship, which is the unique international hide-and-seek competition. It's a team play for adults with non-diversified categories by gender. And it was born in 2010 in the Italian city of Bergamo. It is held annually in Italy in the summer. Probably won't happen this summer, unfortunately. But basically, the game is a derivative of the Italian version of hide and seek called nascondino, which means hide and seek in Italian. And it takes place on a playground in the open air, and it's set up with artificial and natural hideouts. I wonder what the hell those are. And the seventh competition, so it hasn't happened in a while. The seventh competition took place in September 2017 with, get this, 70 teams from 11 countries.
So, but they've been on hiatus. Like, that was the last...
Yeah.
Is that the last one? So
that was the last one.
They're not getting...
Well, actually, I don't know if that was the last one. According to Wikipedia, that was just the seventh competition. So maybe it happened the past 2 Septembers, but so that could be the last one, or that could be just... the seventh one. But it's fascinating.
I read about that as well, and like I shouldn't be surprised anymore because anything that's even vaguely competitive has been essentially at this point just turned into a full-on sport.
Right.
So it makes sense that someone would do a professional hide-and-seek deal, but it was weird to me that it's the Italians who are in charge of this shit. Mm-hmm. I read that the Bergamo, or however you say it, is like the Italian Las Vegas, which is a phrase that made me giggle because to me, the 3 words together, Italian Las Vegas, sounds like when you call a stripper to your mother's house. Like that's doing an Italian Las Vegas. And then I was also...
I don't even know what that means, but it makes me laugh.
Well, I identify as culturally Italian, so this isn't racist.
Oh, okay. No, I know you're Italian, but what does it mean to call a stripper to your... Like, why would calling a stripper to your mother's house be Italian Las Vegas?
Because Italian men, they live with their mothers for an extended period of time.
Oh, okay.
So if you wanted all the joys of Vegas, but in an Italian fashion, you would bring that into your mother's place of residence.
Yeah, okay, I get it. Yeah, like Joe Pesci in Goodfellas having a stripper while his mom makes chicken cutlets in the kitchen.
Yeah, she asks him how he's doing and why he doesn't settle down. That's the ideal...
I get a new girl every night. I want to be with you. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Settle down every night, in the morning she's gone. So if you're doing that while like smoking and playing cards, that's basically Italian Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So I don't know, that like it's weird. Like, do the Italians naturally have a better idea of what makes a good hider and seeker? It just shocks the pants out of me that it's not like an American fringe sport.
It's a really interesting question because, they could very well think that like their version, is best. And it's like, looking at the other research we did, there are in plenty of other places in the world, hide and seek is just, there are little differences to it. Like in Brazil and Russia, this is interesting that it's the same in both of these countries. In Brazil and Russia, when the seeker spots a hider, they both race to the spot where the seeker was originally counting, and whoever touches that spot first wins the game.
Okay, I feel like I'm more familiar with that. Like I am familiar with the version where if you are found, or not even found, but like you hide and then you try to sneak back to home base.
Right.
For me, that was like the outside version of hide and seek. Because if you're indoors in a house, that was kind of not going to be as doable.
Right.
So it was basically you just get found. But I remember playing the outside, get back to home base version where you're basically just trying to elude the seeker, not just drill it with like the best possible hiding spot.
Right.
So
right.
I get it.
What were some of your
weird.
memories of what's your most specific memory relating to hide and seek?
So I have a little sister, so we used to have to go to my grandparents' house, and this was in the 90s, so not the plethora of things to do. Like screen time wasn't like a deal growing up. So we'd be at our grandparents' house actually quite a bit with like nothing going on. And my grandfather had the complete monopoly on the TV, and all he would do was just watch Notre Dame football game reruns. Like
God.
he went there in the 30s and he was all about it. And as soon as they got cable, he found ESPN Classic and never wanted to do anything.
Did he
else.
play football there? Was he like
No, not at all. He was a little Italian guy.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
I would love it if he was like rewatching his games and being like, oh, I blew it. I could have done.
That would be incredible. Like he's giving himself a film breakdown 70 years after the fact. For whatever reason, that was like the thing that he liked to watch. And I've never been huge into football, and especially not when it's a fucking rerun.
Oh, dude.
So that option was out. So. Yeah. I used to play some serious hide and seek there, either with my sister or with my cousins, and it was a good spot for it because they had a not a huge house, but they had a basement and an attic, so that brought some
that's clutch.
some difference elevation into effect. Plus, you're off your home turf, so it's better. Like it used to be more fun to go play hide and seek at like a relative's house or a friend's house rather than yours because you kind of already knew the layout of your house,
right?
So we used to find some sweet places to hide in Grandma and Grandpa's house, and sometimes it would take a while to get found. And so that's like when I was thinking about hide and seek, that's my association and just the feeling of complete childhood boredom. Like Grandma, Grandpa, they are super old. Their house smells weird, bad upholstery, just nothing to do and just so much time to pass, and that is my main association with even just the phrase hide and seek. What about you?
I completely have the same memories you do. It was always at my grandparents' house in terms of when I think of hide and seek and something specific. There are times when we played manhunt in the neighborhood and stuff like that. My grandparents' house is where we played hide and seek, and specifically my grandpa would always be the seeker. Which was interesting because we would always want to go there
all time.
Kind of, yeah.
Like that was his deal.
Yeah, pretty much. And and what's interesting about it though is that we would always want to go there and watch TV. And every single time we would be like, "Can we watch a movie? Can we watch a movie?" With like the VCR, he would it's broken. Oh, it's broken. And it's like as a kid, you just go, "Oh, it's broken," and you accept it. But looking back, it's like, if it was broken, why didn't you get a new one? It's like we'd always go there, see the same VCR. But it was still broken. And it was like, yeah. And now, of course, I'm like, okay, that was bullshit. That was just him not wanting to deal with us watching TV.
Clearly.
Or maybe, and I give him credit for this, maybe it was him wanting us to be more active and wanting us to be, a little bit, more creative in our choices of like what to do instead of just like vegging out in front of the TV. But that being said, he was always the seeker. So there was a part of me that was like, okay, if he wanted to get rid of us, he probably would have just put us in front of the TV. But
if he wanted to get rid of you, he would declare himself the seeker, make you hide, and then just never even attempt.
Right. But he would always really, really commit. And what I mean by that is like my grandma had these furs. She had these fur coats, they were like these, I don't know what, but like looking back as like a little kid and like thinking like, ooh, Grammy's furs. It was like this sacred thing that you can't touch. Like it was really weird, but I promise they have a point. So Grandpa would always put on Grammy's furs and we would be hiding under the bed or whatever.
Saying Grammy's furs, I hate it.
It's true. Grandpa would always put on Grammy's furs, and he would then kind of like stay in one place, and it was almost like we would have to find him. But once we stepped out of our hiding place, he would raise his arms wearing these furs, and we would like think he was a lion. This is when we were like 3 and 4, and he would be like, "Rah!" And we would scream with delight. And again, he was really committed. He really
yeah, he was taking it pretty seriously.
Oh,
that's very
awesome.
Strong grandpa energy.
It was awesome. It was awesome. Grandpa was a dope dude. But like that's my specific memory with hide and seek. And I guess now we're gonna get into our recent attempts at hiding and seeking because we played it last week. I played it last Saturday. Bear, when did you play it?
I believe I played it. I was procrastinating. I think it was Monday night. I finally did it.
Okay.
So I did agree to do it, and I did follow through with it.
Awesome.
So I played hide and seek in my apartment with my girlfriend.
All right, and I played with my wife. And first, we're actually going to listen. We did some field reporting, so
We did.
You're welcome again. We did some field reporting while we were hiding and seeking. And first, we're going to listen to a clip right now of Bear hiding. And this is a clip that pretty much is a little bit of a shortened odyssey of him hiding, and you'll see what happens at the end. So here we go. We're gonna give it a little listen.
So I'm hiding behind the couch, and I pulled the couch out sporadically over the course of the day so she wouldn't notice. Actually, over the course of a couple of days, I kind of just inched it out. So I've got a nice spot here, and I'm gonna get down. Oh, fuck. Christ. Jesus. Fuck. Oh, fucking, my hip hurts. This is the part I was the most scared about, was how fucking my body was just gonna ache as I'm hiding like an asshole.
Are you hiding behind the couch?
No. Damn it. Yes, I have found. I put in a lot of prep work.
Yeah.
In a lot of thought. Like,
hey, talk about commitment, man. That was...
Yeah.
I was really impressed.
I was sizing up the place for a couple of days just to, like, figure out, all right, what could I do here that's not going to be such an obvious find? Like, I'm a 6'3", 230-pound man. Like, a lamp isn't going to work. So I figured if I just pulled the couch is flush against the wall. If I just, like, inched that shit out a little bit over a couple of days, she wouldn't notice. And
that's great. So you thought about it like a few days before and was like, all right, I'm going to start doing this now. So when would you say you started moving the couch?
Oh, Thursday or Friday. Like, I thought I put an embarrassing amount of thought into it, and like, the clip is a little quicker than it happened in real life, but my girlfriend Jackie found me in under 2 minutes, and I was not happy about it.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, I was not thrilled.
Before we get into more about what we thought about hiding, we're going to play my clips now of my field reporting when I'm hiding, and here we go.
Okay, I just pretended to run up the stairs, but I'm really going into the garage and hiding in my car. Okay, here we go. I took off my shoes to add to the mystique. Okay, here we go. I'm pulling like the sun thing down over my car, and hopefully this will work. Fuck. Oh boy. So right now, I am just kind of cruising on my phone a little bit. It's an interesting thing. You know, when you're a kid, you're just sitting there hiding, and you're just basically running on adrenaline. And you're just like, oh man, are they going to find me? Are they going to find me? Oh man, are they going to find me? And you're working so hard to be quiet. But today, with smartphones and like the fact that you know, we're choosing to hide with them, it's pretty unbelievable that like we can basically just like have our smartphones and be fine for the next, you know, however many minutes we're hiding. A little wild how that works. Like, I'm literally scrolling through Instagram right now. It's a little weird. It almost makes me feel like, wait a minute, what happened to the purity of it?
So, classic misdirection on your part, first off. Classic. Where did you put your shoes?
Yeah, I was listening to that, and it's like, to add to the mystique.
Yeah, that killed me, and like you believed that hard, which is good.
Yeah, I really did.
Like, did you take them off before you got to the garage, or like did you put them in a misleading place?
No, what I did was I put them... What I think was going through my brain was that if Zoe saw my shoes, she'd be like, okay, there's no way he went into the garage without his shoes, because I'm a neat freak, and I'm pretty clean. But, you know, joke's on her, because I did. And just to clarify, when I said I was trying to pull the sun thing down on the car, I was getting into the trunk of the car, and I have a Prius, and there's a hatchback, so I was trying to pull that cover over the hatchback and get underneath that.
Yes, understood.
and that clip was shorter, but it actually took Zoe, like, we gave each other like a 15-minute limit to find the other person, and she took 11 minutes. And I was definitely like, I was feeling like, all right, I think this is gonna work out for me. I think I'm gonna be able to like come out. And she came out to the garage 3 separate times.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? And there was one point where she goes to the car and I heard her like open the doorknob and I heard it like snap back. And I was like, wait, am I locked in here? like what the hell am I going to do? But yeah, I mean, I was definitely, I was proud of myself for the hiding place. Cause I feel like, I was like, all right, I'm not gonna, I don't think there's any way that she's gonna look to come here. And then, of course, even though it took her 11 minutes, it was the first place she looked.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, you just did the research to barricade yourself in.
Right. Right.
So that was good on her. It's just you did a great job of camouflaging your intentions there, and a classic spot to hide. Technically on the premises, but a little off the beaten path. So
right.
I commend you there.
And well, I commend you for the moving of the couch, and I was going to ask how long, because you're a tall guy. For anybody who doesn't know, Bear, what are you, 6'4"?
I'm 6'3" on the button, 75 inches.
Wow. Okay, so 6'3", and how long is your couch that you could hide behind it? And you also have feet that are bigger than Bozo the Clown's. You have like size 17 shoe.
Yeah, I can squeeze into a 16, but yeah, I've large feet. The feet didn't come in.
I can squeeze into a 16. Dude, my feet, 2 of my feet together equals 1 of your feet. I'm a 9. Like, and that's, a size 18 shoe. You're basically like, yeah, you're double.
I don't fit on the Brannick device. But it's not an exact, W is one of my feet. We'll expand on that at a later date, but to answer your original question, I have a massive couch. I have a big living room, and like 2 years ago, I seriously updated my couch situation. So I have a big L-shaped couch that is 125 inches by 125 inches. So
wow.
It is where it's like about 10 feet by 10 feet each way.
Wow.
So I could get back there and I wasn't like poking out. So that's what I was so disturbed about getting found so easily, is I was like, okay, this is one of the few places I can get into where I know I can fit first off. I was a little uncomfortable because my body is old and creaky. But I thought there was a good chance I felt that moment that you felt. I felt that clear victory of, okay, I have the spot. I'm locked in. Like, I'm going to make it. And there's no fucking way she's going to find me.
Right.
And she checked a couple places and found me so fucking quick.
Yeah.
I was pissed. But Jackie did, she threw out a classic seeker maneuver where she asked a question out loud. So I turned off the lights to make it harder to see, to make it a little easier to hide. Mm-hmm. And she immediately walked in the house and asked out loud, "Can I turn on the lights?" And I was like, "I'm not fucking answering that. I know that game. Get the fuck out of here."
That's great.
I respect the game.
I respect the game too. I was gonna say I'm surprised that she actually thought you might answer.
You never know. It's worth a shot. It's worth a shot.
It is, because someone might not be thinking, like if they're hiding and someone might not be thinking. And speaking of hiding, let's before we get into the seeking clips, what did you think of hiding? How did you feel? And you sounded like you were definitely in pain there and not having fun. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, I was worried about that. I was legitimately worried that I was going to be in an uncomfortable position for an extended period of time. So that was a huge concern. I was a little concerned about just in general getting there and having to pee immediately, because that is a well-known side effect of being the hider in hide and seek. So I definitely peed beforehand, so got that out of the way.
Me too.
And
smart move.
the actual act of hiding and getting settled into the spot was pretty exciting. Like, I was a little out of breath. My heart was racing a little bit, and that did die down. But there is a thrill to hiding when you're doing something that the other person doesn't know about. Like,
Right.
sneaking around is its own kind of little thrill. So I did enjoy that more than I thought I would. How about you? Like, you clearly, you had a lot more time to kind of get through in your spot.
Yeah, I felt the exact same that you did, especially in the beginning in terms of the thrill. There was a part of me that like I felt like a middle-aged person of like, God, I haven't felt this way in years. Like, like how exciting, It's like winning at the casino or something. Like, ooh, this is fun. This is unexpected. One thing I did like about it is it's a little representative of like me time. And if you're into things like, and this is gonna sound super weird, but like if you're into like meditation and shit, like, and you go hide and seek and you find a really good spot, and like let's say you have a really busy life outside, let's say you have kids or a pet or whatever, and like a really busy job, and then you play hide and seek for a second, and like that's the only time you get away, like, from your kid if you're playing with them and they can't find you, you can take like 10 minutes or however 10 to 15 minutes and like meditate. And like I never thought about it from that point, but I was like, oh, that's kind of cool actually.
Yeah.
And that's a nice thing. But the one thing that I thought was interesting was like, I wonder how much I would have felt that after a certain point. And I wonder how much I would have felt that after like, I feel like after a certain point, you're just going to get bored and be like, all right, let's go. And like, I had my phone out within minutes, and there was something like, oh man, like I already have my phone out. Like,
Yeah.
And like, it's like, I feel like when you're a kid, like you don't have anything else. Like you are really in the moment because you haven't learned about what being in the moment is yet. You're just in it. And you're just like, this is the most exciting thing in the world. I could like, you start like planning your life. Like, all right, I better get some saltines. Like, I better sneak out to the kitchen and get some drinks and snacks. Like, I could be here for a while. And like, it's the most exciting thing ever when you're.
That was
a kid.
why it was so funny. Like, I laughed so hard when I heard you say, "What happened to the purity of it?"
That's what I'm talking about.
It's so funny, but it's. I mean, that's real. Like, finding that spot and dealing with like, am I breathing too loud? Like, I got to really stick this out in the moment.
Yeah.
It is a pure feeling that when you get older, you just can't. There's too much other shit. You cannot commit to. All I'm doing right now is hiding. It's like, well, fuck, man. I hope.
Right. And you can't unless, maybe unless you're like, you've trained at this, you can't shut off that part of your brain that's like, this is ridiculous. I'm an adult, But
Yeah.
I will say though that like those moments hiding, and especially in the beginning of hiding, I'm happy to say that it did bring me back, and it was cool. And I felt like, and honestly, it was like this is gonna sound weird, like the hiding aspect, like that was a fun experience. Like that was a fun activity for Zoe and I. Like that was cool. Of like, of like when she found me and we were like, oh my God, and like when I found her and like, and that's actually a good segue into seeking. So now we're gonna play the seeking clips, and we're gonna start with Bear's seeking clip, and
Excellent.
here it is.
All right, I am now the seeker. I'm outside my apartment. I told her I'd count to 100. There's no fucking way I'm counting to 100. Get out of here. I'm just gonna hang out outside for a bit, and then I'll go in. It's a nice night out here. Things are softly in bloom as we're entering May. Of course, we have the April shower right now. God, I fucking hate April. Pain in the ass.
Jesus.
It's as real as it gets.
That was a fast turn. You were like, oh, it's softly in bloom. Very nice. And then you're like, yeah, but it's fucking raining.
Jackie asked me, she was like, do I have to count to 100? I was like, yes, you must count to 100 or it doesn't count. Like, you absolutely have to. And then I got out there and I was like, no, I'm not. Just eyeball this real fast.
That's savage.
And then I don't know. I was just like, I had the recording running, and I figured I'll describe the spring happenings in my backyard. And yeah, that's real talk, man. April, not the best month. Not the best month. Too many showers.
I don't disagree with you. And now we're gonna play the Seeking clip from my experience, but there's a little bit of a twist here. We're actually gonna play it from my wife Zoe. She took. And this is
your second round, right?
This is the second. This is the second round. So she's already found. We both went twice, and she had already found me. And this was her going to find me for the second time. So this was after she found me in the car, which was a great hiding spot.
Okay, we're just starting round 2, and Andrew is going back to hide. I have a feeling that this time he doesn't know where he's going to hide. I kind of caught him trying to look for places to hide while we were coming out here and kind of stalling a little. So I feel like this round is going to be a little easier for me.
I can't believe you gave away the game.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, she is 100% right. I totally fucked up. I totally she totally caught me, and she I was looking behind the doors. I was looking in a closet, and I wasn't even aware that I was doing it. But then as I was doing it, I was like, what the fuck am I doing? But I love Zoe's confidence in that, and I also love that she's she doesn't sound rehearsed, but she sounds like a confessional on a reality show. Like how
she
she's
does. Actually, she sounds like the if they did sideline reporting from the fucking Italian national games.
Yeah,
hey, we're feeling good about it. We know we found him the one time, and I think that was his A game. So I'm expecting a quicker round this time.
Yeah,
let's get out there. Thanks for the time, Jim.
It was very concise. It was very concise and to the point, and also she was 100% right. She found me that round. She found me within 2 minutes, probably less, because I hid behind a door. I didn't know. I didn't know where the hell. I was literally coming up the stairs, being I couldn't figure it out. But what did you think about Seeking?
Seeking, you don't get that same rush. You don't get that quick hit off your adrenal gland when you're seeking. You're more in, you're thinking through logically what's going on. You're putting the pieces together. You're picking up clues. You're tracking throughout the house. So it's different. It's definitely a different side of the game. I probably didn't like it as much, but I did find Jackie relatively quickly. She was in the closet. She had misjudged some of the items she put in front of her to cover her up. So I saw her arm, and I was like, I know what this is. Get out of here. But an 11-minute seek like Zoe endured, that could take a toll on you. That's some serious time, especially as an adult, trying to find somebody. And I do remember as a child not liking being the seeker, we just always called it "you're it." So there was always that thing lonely. Of
it's more lonely.
Yeah, it kind of sucked. If you do a bad job, if it takes you a bit, you start feeling like an idiot.
And then you feel left out if everyone's hiding together or
yeah, all my fucking blood relatives are out having a great time without me, and here I am just wandering around grandmother's house.
Why does the fact that they're blood relatives make it hurt more?
It did, because that could be you if the gene pool had just split slightly differently. That's true. It's harsh. That's real science insult there.
That's savage.
It's bad. What did you think? Did you like it? I don't think I liked it.
I don't think I liked it either. The only part that I really liked was finding Zoe. The first time I found her, I almost completely missed her. She was in the closet in our bedroom. And I went into the closet and was like, no, I don't think she's in here. And then, but then for some reason, I was just compelled to look a little bit over, and she had hid herself, camouflaged in very well, and we just burst out laughing when we found each other. And that was really, that's a nice little moment of like, you know, that just like pure joy of when you find someone and when you're like, oh my god, you were there, oh man, whatever. But like
it's always that moment. Like, it is funny when you find someone, like you have that like,
so but,
it is like a laugh. I don't know why. It's just like a weird moment you have. You're like, oh, I found you.
Right, it is, but like
that's the same. And
so it's, I wonder if it's arguable that like, could you get there to that moment without the for lack of a better word, toll that seeking takes on you. Like, if you find someone in 10 seconds, then it's not that fun. But there is something fun about, you know, finding someone after a certain amount of time and being like, oh man, you know. But I will say that, like, as a kid, I definitely hated seeking. I was, you know, I'm an extrovert and I get my energy from, you know, people, and like being alone, having to do it sucked. I didn't find myself, I wasn't like, you know, I didn't have the ingenuity to like, you know, figure out where my, you know, sister and cousins and friends were if we were ever hiding with them. But as an adult, I also didn't love it because there's an element of, and I have ADD, and my attention span is kind of like, all right, let's go. Like, all right, like let's, you know, what the fuck am I gonna do? How much longer am I gonna have to like look around like an idiot for? And I think that I think there's an element of bringing it kind of full circle. There's an element of boredom to seeking as an adult. And I think that like when you feel that you've looked everywhere, I wouldn't say I hated it, but I would say that I probably preferred hiding. And I also feel like if you're seeking as an adult, it's much, much easier to give up and, you know, put your feet up on the couch and then like not look. And then it kind of like takes away from like the fun of the game. You have to be really committed. And
you do.
Yeah, and it's funny. Zoe said she liked seeking more because she loves solving things. She loves
the hunt.
Yeah, she loves the hunt. She loves being a detective. She loves putting things together. And, you know, I think that's interesting, and I think that's very valid. Me personally, I just like the rush of whether or not someone's gonna find me. It's like you feel like, you know, you are, I don't know, like you feel like you're a different person almost. You know, you're like,
no, it's like you're getting away with something.
Yeah, it's like you're getting away with something. You're like, I got a new lease on life. Like I could change my name. Like, you know, like.
No, and I agree with you. And I, like, full disclosure, I play hide and seek actually pretty often, but I play it with my parents' dog. And
well, how does that work?
Well, he is the permanent seeker. It would be amazing if he could hide, but he doesn't understand that. But I learned about this. I came over to my parents' house. They have like a 3-year-old golden doodle named Oliver.
Oh,
and
my parents
he
have
is
a
my
golden
light
doodle.
and my joy. And anyway, so they my parents are retired, so it's not like they have a packed schedule. So at some point they taught the dog to play hide and seek. So he stays, and then someone hides, and then you tell him to go, and he finds you. And you'd think the dog would be an advantage with like the nose power of your average dog, but if you hide correctly, I don't know. Like I've been hidden for a bit and had him going for a while, and then
wow,
you know, he's a fucking dog, so my parents just yell at him, "Go find Michael! Go find Michael!" Because that's my real name.
That just sounds weird
he'll
to
just
me.
run
Go
around.
find Michael. I honestly had to think
I know
Michael.
That's how he knows me. He knows me as Michael.
Right.
So it's pretty fun. Like I play at their house. The same thing. It's like an away game, you know, not my home turf. And he likes when he finds me. It's the same thing. He's so happy. He's like jumping. He's like, yes, I fucking got you. You know, there's not a huge reward other than we get to touch each other and just look into each other's soul and bond. But it is surprisingly fun to play hide and seek with Oliver.
I'm gonna try that with our puppy Bill. I'm gonna see if that works.
Well, I mean, you're at home. It's quarantine. You got some time. You could see.
Got some time.
If you can handle that stay, you know, command, that's really the foundation of dog hide and seek. So if you get that down, you're halfway there.
I'm definitely gonna try that. Well, all right. You know, as we wrap up here, the important question remains: hide and seek. Is it still good? Now, would you like me to go first, or would you like to go first?
I'll go first. The answer
it.
is no. I enjoyed playing it. I enjoyed talking about it and thinking about it. My grandparents are like super, super dead, so I don't always get the excuse to like really think about what it was like to be a kid and being in their house, and those are good memories. So I enjoyed that, but I'll say this: when I was thinking about where I came down on hide and seek, if it's good or not, even though I do enjoy playing it with Oliver the dog, it's not going into the rotation for like me and Jackie at home. Like this is not something where like I had so much fun Monday night playing hide and seek where I'm gonna hit her up to be like, hey, what are we doing tonight? Like, want to get some hide and seek going? And to me, all the good things about hide and seek are mostly wrapped up in being a kid and what that felt like to be playing hide and seek as a kid. And even like playing with the dog, you're basically interacting with the mentality of like, you know, at best a toddler because it's a fucking dog. So I think you do lose a lot of the magic of what makes hide and seek good when you grow up. So it's not a hard no. I don't hate hide and seek. It's not like keeping me up at night, you know, that I don't love it anymore. But as far as it's still good, it is not for me. How about you?
This is interesting. I'm going with yes, it is still good.
Okay.
And the main reason for that is I touched on it a little bit in our conversation. It was a fun activity for Zoe and I, surprisingly enough, and for our puppy, for Bill, because he could like help us seek and you know come with us and run around. And I like the fact that we gave each other like a realistic limit. It was 15 minutes. It's not like we were like, you have to just, you know, go until you find us, which that would have just driven us both nuts. But
yes,
I liked that we both got creative with some of our hiding spaces. I liked that it was so different from the shit that we usually do. I mean, we usually watch, you know, Netflix or movies and stuff, which look, I mean, those are, you know, my favorite things ever. I love those. But I really liked how this was like, we had never done anything like this, and it was so different. I remember one time, like back in maybe it was the early winter or the late fall, one night we were like on a Friday night, we were like, what should we do tonight? And then Zoe was like, I kind of want to go to Buffalo Wild Wings. And we like have never gone there. We never had thought about going there. And then I was like, fuck yeah. And we went and it was awesome. And like look, I don't know why, but it was just so different from what we usually do. And I know it's so weird.
I'm holding back tears. Like, what happened to you?
I don't know. I just think that, like, you know, I think also just like, look, I will say that like if I was doing this with like a roommate or like a friend, I probably wouldn't like it as much. And that's not to say that your opinion about what you did in terms of hide and seek with Jackie is not valid. I think that, you know, just like for me personally, like having doing like fun new things with a partner is enjoyable, even if it is something as, you know, not to sound harsh, but something as childish as hide and seek. I'm not going to say that we're going to play it every Saturday. You know, that's not.
That's my point. Like, we're not gonna try out for the Italian national team.
No, but again, it goes back to like having a little. It's nice because you can enjoy it with your partner, and then while you're hiding, if you find a really good spot, you can have a little me time, you time. You can have a little time to like, you know, just sit and be there in the moment. I know that's a bit of an alternative way of looking at things, but my vote is yes. And again, this is not like a glowing, resounding like fuck yeah, we're doing it every weekend. But my vote is yes. And I think it's different from when we were children, but the fact that we still had fun. I remember even Zoe and I said to each other after we were done, like, oh, that was really fun. Like that was a good time. So yeah, my vote's yes. I think it's still good.
I don't think we're as far apart as the vote would seem on this one. It's kind of a soft yes and a soft no. Mm-hmm. I mean, I did expect this to suck, and it did not. So that is a positive.
Sure.
But I get it. I mean, your best point is that doing something new with someone who you care about is always a good time, even if it's not going into the rotation. So I identify with that, even though I would never change my vote from no here. But that's good stuff.
All right, so I think hide and seek is still good.
No, not good. Not going in the rotation.
Well, why don't you let us know what you think? Shoot us an email at stillgoodshow@gmail.com if you feel like playing hide and seek and letting us know what you thought about it. And thanks for listening, as always. Please join us next week when we review a delicious treat from our childhood. Barry, you want to tell them what it is?
We're doing Happy Meals. The McDonald's, classic Happy Meals. We're going to get toys, and we're going to eat some shit, and we're going to feel like little kids in the back seat.
That sounds fantastic. All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.
Bye.